Hey all, it is Lawrence from Express Unity here, and today we're going to be still inside our multiplayer game. There is a few things I would like to show you guys as I kind of just forgot about it. So, something that a user did bring up is they wanted an actual health bar on the screen. So I'm just going to quickly show you guys how to implement that client side. And we're also going to be looking at Playfab's currency and inventory system. I'm not sure if this will be a two-part video, but yeah, I mean, we can just get into it and see how it all goes. I'll just adjust the sound volume for a sec. Alright. So in our canvas, let's go ahead and create a new image, and I'm just making a simple health bar here, nothing too fancy. But let's make this image somewhere up here. Excuse me. Let's make it a bit fancy, so I mean the border can be a dark grey. The center of it can be a lighter grey. Hold Shift and Alt to scale on both X and Y. And then our fill for the image can be red. Yeah, that'll do. And we'll put that behind the center, hold Alt and Shift again, like that. And for the center image here, we're going to want to select a sprite. UI sprite is fine. Did it not select? Okay, and we may as well. Oh, I did it for the other one. May as well just select UI sprite for all of them, just to make it look a little bit decent. Now for the middle, the actual filler, let's go ahead and change the image type from sliced to filled, and radial. Yeah, I think radial is what we want. Okay, right, add a tab. Now, as you can tell, the image will work fine if it's on something like sliced or simple. No? Okay, just sliced. However, we can't actually, unless we're changing the scaling, we can't change the value of the image. So if we change the fill, and we have this fill amount here, if we drag it up and down, you can actually see that the UI for the sprite is slowly removed. I'm not sure, maybe this one? Okay, I don't know what that UI is used for, but it looks better than nothing. So if we have that there, and now we can just drag and drop this fill amount, and it looks pretty decent. So let's go ahead and parent these two. We'll call this one health, and then this one health fill, and then this one we'll just call it front. Okay, so let's go ahead and set active to false, and for our enable on join room, let's go ahead and add our health. Now in our script, our player script, we're going to want to go ahead and make a new public image, and we'll call it fill. We'll just call it health sprite. Actually, nah, we'll do health image because there's a sprite attached to the image, so it wouldn't make sense. So health image. Let's go ahead to the resources folder, and once it's compiled, drag our Oops, we want our health fill. You can't actually do it like that, so we're gonna have to add a tag here. We'll call it health fill, and then add the tag to the filler of the health bar, and then we'll just make this a private image. And then on photon is mine in the start function, we'll do health image equals game object dot find objects objects with tag, no, object with tag, sorry. And we want to find health fill. After this, we also want to do get component image. Alright, so that should check out now. Now all we need to do to adjust the value is somewhere on like our update function. We could just do it above here. We can do something like health image dot fill amount equals health divided by max health. Basically what this will do is make our health value a number between 0 and 1, which is what we need for the fill amount, a number between 0 and 1. So that should basically be it. Let's quickly go ahead and build and run. And see how it is. Make the window a little bit bigger. Oh, that might have been a bit too big. I have two screens, so making it this size is good for me, but not good for the recording because you guys won't be able to see some of it. So we'll just leave it like that for now. Alright, so trying to create. We've got our little health bar. We actually forgot to set our anchor point, which is why it's down there. But if you set it correctly, it should position correctly. Trying to create. Now, if we move our rand and hit something, you can see we're at 40 down here, and the health bar is also at around 40%. If we do it again, there we go, and we've reset. We'll do it with the test. 60, 20. There we go. So health bar is all working. Now I am going to show you guys how to implement Playfab's inventory system. However, I don't think I want to add any kind of inventory to this game. So I'll show you guys how to do it, but I won't actually be implementing any kind of like visuals into this game. I might do it with another project. So in the Playfab auth, we're going to need a new public variable, and that is going to be public get player combined info request params, and we'll just call this info request. Alright, so if we save that and go back into Unity, once the script compiles, in the player prefab, we now have, not player prefab, sorry, in our Playfab manager, we now have info request, the drop down. So drop that down, and we need to enable a few things here. The first thing we want to do is enable character inventories. We also want to enable, I believe it is get user data. We also want to enable get user inventory. We also want to enable get user virtual currency. So that should be it there. So if we save that and go over to our Playfab, once you log in and go to your dashboard, you're going to see this economy panel. So if we click on this, and click on the currency tab, we can actually create a new global currency for our game. So let's go ahead and create a new currency. Excuse me. So a currency code, I'm going to just call it BL for block, and display name can just be blocks. So we can actually set a few things here. So if a new user creates an account, we can actually start off with their account balance as a certain value that we want. So we can set this to 100. We could even do something like for the first 24 hours, make it so users get 2,000 of this particular currency instead of 100. But that's only for new accounts. And then after your deal is ended, you can just set this back to 100 and then any new account will be fine. So the recharge units per day, that's how much you want to give them daily, I believe. I haven't messed around with these two functions all that much, so you guys can give it a whirl. But for now, I'm just going to leave the initial deposit as 100. I'm going to save the currency, like so. Alright, so now if we go back into our Playfab auth, in our login function, and with our login request, we want to go and type login request dot info request parameters equals to our info request. Now what this will tell our login API is to basically fetch all our inventory, all our currency, basically all of the good stuff that makes our game good. So what we can now do here is get our login request, and we can do something like login request dot, I believe, info request parameters dot get user currency. I'm just trying to remember how to use this. Yeah, get user inventory, get user virtual currency. Oh wait, no, that's not it. It could be get user data. Oh, that's not it. Let's see, I might be inside the wrong area here. No. I always mix one thing or two up. It's a very complicated system. Maybe you get player profile. No. Okay, user account info. Nope. Let's try something real quick. Don't copy me just in case this doesn't work. Just want to try this. No. You know, let's just set the boolean for it. Oh, hold on. I'm doing this completely wrong. It's not the login request that we want, it's the result. I completely misread my own code. You see, something simple. It's always something simple. So result dot, now we can do dot, so dot request. Right. Now we just gotta figure out where it is inside here. Settings for user. Won't be this. No. I forget how to use dictionaries, but result.info.payload.user virtual currency. So this is what we want. So again, info as well, isn't it? No, it's not that. Yeah, it is. It is this. User currency. Oh, actually, I think. Let's see here. I want to make a new dictionary with a string and an int, and we call this current. Actually, we'll call it temp for now, and then I think we can do temp equals that result, and then we do temp dot keys. Is it? Yeah, keys dot. No. Keys dot. Let's see. Values. Is that what I want? We'll give this a try. So let's go ahead and make a public int. Let's call this let's just call it blocks. We'll make it start off equaling 0. Now let's say blocks equals temp. Now let's see. Yeah, I'm missing something. It's not values of count, is it? No, it's not that. I know how to do this, it's just been a little bit since I've done it. No, it's not that. It is values. Something like this, is it? No, it's not. Okay. I'm just gonna pause it real quick and just look at a piece that I did this when I first started with Playfab. So give me a quick second. Alrighty, I'm back. So I was pretty down close. So let's go ahead and remove all of this. And well, it is correct. It's not quite needed. So instead of temp, let's go ahead and do blocks equals our result.user currency, and then here we do square brackets and then our name of the currency, which in this case is BL. Alrighty, so now when we log in, we should get the our correct blocks. Now we can quickly test this out. So if we play, now because this isn't a new account, we should start off with 0 blocks even when we do log in. Oh, it's giving us 100. Okay. Well, cool. Yeah. Okay, so if we want to test it working, we can go into our players and let's see. Last login 5 days ago, so I'm very accurate. Okay, so that's. Okay, so we can go to a user and now we can go into currency, I believe, virtual currency, and you see here they've got that block virtual currency assigned. So let's give our test account 10,000 blocks. So let's go ahead, play, and then if we log in with our test account, we should see 10,000. Yep, there it is. And it also increased by 14. That is very odd. I have actually no idea why. Did I accidentally put a timer on this? Didn't, did I? Just quickly check. Currencies. No. Okay, well, that's a little weird. But it's working. So now let's go ahead and do something with actual items. So if we go to our catalogs, let's create a new catalog and let's call this, I don't know, player abilities. Okay, so I don't want this first item I give you, so, oh actually, we need to keep it for now, because as soon as we delete this, the entire catalog will be removed. There always needs to be one item at all times. So let's create a new item, and let's give this an ID. Let's just call it move speed. It doesn't need, it can be anything really. I think it can even be a number, I believe. Yeah, anyway, so we're gonna call it move speed, and the display name is gonna be called move speed as well. We don't need any item class or tags. If you wanted to give it an image, you can, and then you can call this in Unity. But yeah, I'm not gonna do that. And then we can also give it how much this item is actually going to cost. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go and select BL. I'm going to click the checkbox, and I'm going to say that it is going to cost 1,000. Alrighty. So let's save the item. Now we don't need this one, so let's delete it. Alrighty. So, excuse me, let's go ahead and make a new public void. We'll call it by item, and we'll pass it a string, call it item ID. Now, we need to make a few things inside of this, and yeah, so we need to make something called a purchase item request, and I'm just going to call this PR, and we want to equal it to a new purchase item request. Now we want to do PR dot catalog version, I believe. And this is the name of our catalog we just made. So in this case, it's called player abilities. And let's see. Now we want to actually get what the item is. So pr.item ID equals item ID, and we want to get the virtual currency. So we want to get the virtual currency that we're going to be using. In this case, it's PL. And now we want to set the price for it. So even though, we set the price to 1,000 here. If we set this price differently inside our code, the purchase function will actually return an error. So both these prices need to be the same. So let's go ahead and do pr.price, and let's just equal that. Let's just actually make another int here, and we'll call it price. We'll make that equal to price. Okay. So now that we've done that, I believe it's a Playfab client API dot purchase item, and then here we want to pass our PR. Now we want to do something like result, like so. And then we want to do our error callback. Our error callback. And that, I believe, should be it. So, don't think we really need to do anything inside here. Yeah, you had details for what you purchased, I believe. Yeah. So if you're only purchasing one item, it's only going to be it's only going to be a singular array. So you just put 0 there. So we could debug.log this, and we'll say item purchased plus, and then let's do display name. Not that. Like that. Alrighty, so this should be the basic of purchasing an item and adding it to a user's inventory. So let's save that. And for now, let's just quickly go into our players tab, into our test player. I think it was this one, yeah. And we can go into our inventory. And you can see there's currently no inventory items found. Now, if, for example, you have problems with an items and some user contacts you and you have all the receipts and you can confirm that he has actually purchased the item but your game didn't process it for some weird reason, you can always go into that user's inventory, you can select the item, and then you can actually manually give him an item. So that's actually pretty cool. You can also just give him the item by granting the ID. Okay, so now I'm just going to do this by creating a new button. Now because this isn't going to be part of the game, I'm going to be just removing this. So I'm just going to create a large button up here. And on the onClick event, I want to attach our Playfab manager, and then in Playfab, I want to we want to probably buy Shadow buttons can't have two. They can't have two parameters, so I'm just gonna go ahead and change the price manually to 1000 with the item ID. So once this compiles, we should be able to see that function now. Yeah, there. Okay, so the item we want to buy is move speed, I believe we called it. So I'm going to save that, and now, what we can also do, which I would recommend doing, is our blocks. That's not the right area. In our buy item area, we want to do blocks, take or equal, and then our price amount. So this will just update the price real time. So if we save this, have our button selected already, I think. So if we play, we're going to end up getting errors if we click the button straight away. Yep, that is because we're not logged in. So let's go ahead and go to our test account, log in. I'm just going to clear this. And if we go to our Playfab manager, we have 1000 blocks. If we press this, alright, we've now purchased move speed and our blocks is now set to 9000. So if we exit Unity and go back into it, log back in, test 23, log in, you can see our blocks are still updated. And if we go into our player inventory, just refresh that, you can see that our test player now has move speed. So that is basically the very basics of starting to sell and buy items. So one quick thing I will show you. So what you probably want to do before buying an item is we want to make a new Playfab client API, and we want to call user inventory, and we want to go and create a get user inventory request. So let's do that. Get user inventory request, and we'll just call it IR equals new get user inventory request. And now let's just, yeah, I think that's it. Don't really need to do anything else. So now we can do IR, and then we do result, and we create that callback, and then we also want to create our error callback. Alrighty. So if we can do something like I think there's an array of items. Item instance, array of items belonging to the user. Okay, so let's do this. Let's create a new item instance. I'm just going to call it II equals result dot item. Is it enter the item instance? Oh, wait, was that just it? My bad. We want to create a list, and that should be good for that. And now let's just create a for each, and we want to make it a item instance. We'll call it I in II. Really poor naming, but yeah, just to show you. So now I believe we can get, yes, no, an item ID. Yeah, okay. So for example, now let's copy and paste our purchase item inside our get user inventory, and we're going to want to change this. Let's just call it result 2 for now. So we can do something like if I don't display name is equal to, no, sorry, we want I dot item ID is equal to item ID, and we can throw some error. Otherwise, let's buy the item. So in here, let's do debug dot log warning, and let's do something like user already owns, and then let's do plus I dot item I dot display name. Okay, so let's quickly test this out. So I'm just going to save this. So let's log in with our test account. We have 9,000 blocks. We'll clear this. 9,000 blocks. If you press the button, our blocks don't go down. We also get a warning message here. It says user already owns. I spelled owners, but yeah. So despite that spelling mistake, it says that we've already owned move speed. So we can kind of do this on the fly now, and we can revoke move speed. So this user no longer has it. Yeah. I don't think you can refund. Yeah, we'll see in a sec. So I don't have that, so let's go ahead and try again now that I've removed it from the inventory. Is it gonna work? Let's just refresh it. Log in. And now we want to purchase. No. Oh, actually, you know what's happening. So, what is happening now is this for each loop isn't actually running because the user actually has no items at all. So we can go ahead and let's create a new pool. We call it has item equals to false. And after the for each, let's say something like if has item is equal to false, then we can buy it. Otherwise, in here, let's do has item equals true. Alright, so now that should work. Oops. Yep. So test 1, 2, 3, log in, we have 9,000 blocks, let's press the button to buy. Item purchased, move speed, we now have 8,000 blocks. If we purchase it again, user already owns move speed. Item purchased, okay, rip. Oh, did I put, yes, hold on. You want to put has item equal true there and has item equal false here. Alright, let's give this another spin. So I'm going to just revoke the item again. And you can see if you purchase multiple, it doesn't stack. You can, so if you want it to stack, I believe we can go into economy, player abilities, move speed, and is stackable. We can tick that. So save, and let's go back to our test player and go to our inventory. Alrighty, great. So let's log in. We don't have the item anymore. We have 7,000 blocks. we buy the item, item purchased, move speed, we now have 6,000 blocks. If we try buying it again, user already owns move speed, no blocks have been taken, we can try buying it again. It's got a 2 here, so we'll click it again, 3, so yeah, it's no longer giving the user an item. And I believe we can test stacking out by granting another item. Grant item. And yeah, users left is now 2. So if you wanted to be able to just keep purchasing stackable items, you can just basically remove this for each and just purchase the item straight up. But if the item isn't stackable and you only want the player to have one at a time, then yeah, do something like this to just quickly check if the player already has the item or not. Alrighty, so yeah, I think that's it. I might start making another tutorial where we actually use the Playfab inventory for something, whether it's for a single player or multiplayer game. It doesn't matter, Playfab can work for either. But yeah, if you liked the video, give it a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. That always helps me a lot. And